Wayne, tell me a little bit about how you got to Baylor.
I got to Baylor in large part because of something that happened to me in high school. And to back up a little earlier than that, when I was about in about the sixth grade or so, with no television there in Milam County, at least in the home that we had, we would go to the courthouse, and my dad would take me and we'd watch a trial, and I was fascinated. So I wanted to be a lawyer. I knew that early on. In high school, I had a teacher who was not the most accomplished debate coach, but what she said, Wayne, you need to go to the Baylor speech class or institute that they have for 2 weeks each summer. So I was there for 3 years that I was in high school. I was in the Baylor program run by Dr. Glenn Kapp, and it was outstanding. I had an outstanding, I think, career, a successful career as a high school debater. That's one of the things. Then I graduated as valedictorian of my class in Cameron High School, and was planning on going to the University of Texas, and my debate coach was going to get me a job working in the kitchen or whatever, wherever down there. And I blessedly won the Citizens National Bank of Waco full 4-year academic scholarship to Baylor. I was the first one to win that, and I will go to my grave eternally grateful to the Lacey family and to the circumstances that led that. That's how I got to Baylor.
Were there any particular memorable experiences that, as you look back, says that is Baylor to me?
Well, the camaraderie, the people that I knew, I got a chance to debate around the country and meet great friends that I still have to this day. Last week I talked to 2 of my former debate partners from 1958 to 59, and so to speak. I went to law school and had the honor of being president of the student body there, and so forth and so on. And Baylor, I loved the chapel program. I loved the professors. I had some wonderful professors, P.D. Brown and others that stick in my memory to this day. I had a fantastic English literature professor and another in math, and it opened up new intellectual inquiries and avenues in my brain.
You've had an incredibly successful career. Can you talk about what influence your Baylor experience had on that success?
It had a tremendous amount on that success. Baylor taught me, not only in undergraduate school, but in particular in law school, that we have to open our mind and be open. We're not educated unless we have an open mind. And I was given the tremendous honor of making the commencement speech when my daughter received her Doctor of Education at Baylor. Dr. Herbert Reynolds asked me to do that, and I was proud to do it. And my basic message then was, which I learned at Baylor, was you're not educated if you think you've got all of the answers and you don't need any further information. And whether it deals with religion, politics, family matters, and so forth, we have to open our mind and be open to the suggestions, arguments, criticisms of others. And I learned that in law school, but it started in undergraduate school with debate. That program is wonderful, and I need to support the debate program here more than I have, and I will do that.
You were one of the first 3 alumni elected regents. Can you talk a little bit about your experience and sort of what your advice would be to alumni looking at what's going on with the university?
I came in along with Dan Chapman and Julie Turner 2 weeks after the decisions had been made, tumultuous decisions, to terminate Judge Ken Starr, excuse me, and an extremely popular, personable coach, Art Briles. That decision was made, and the reasons for it and so forth well known, and one can debate whether it should have been done or not done, but that decision was made. So I came on with battle lines drawn between various factions, which continues to some extent to this day. And I've worked hard. I was appreciative of the opportunity. I was encouraged by many to get on because of the fact that I'd had the opportunity to be president of the State Bar of Texas and president of the International Academy of Trial Lawyers, a regent of the American College of Trial Lawyers, and I learned in all of that dispute resolution never occurs unless people are talking to each other, communicating, and I've had the opportunity to do that. I've tried hard to bring constructive change. I'm not the only one who has done that. I'm encouraged by the Board of Regents, and I'm encouraged by the current leadership that will be in place in June. I think it's very, very productive, and I think we will continue to make us proud of Baylor. Make Baylor great again, if I can paraphrase a much overused term.
Do you have a favorite place at Baylor?
The favorite place I think would be the law school. Coconut Hall, where I started, I guess Coconut Hall is still over there. And then I went to the new men's dorm because I had received through the Lacey family that scholarship. I think I got a little bit of preference, and I was one of the first students to get to stay in what was called the new men's dorm, the athletic dorm, and I think it became Martin Hall. I forget what the name, and I still feel very, very good about that. I really have fond memories of those.
What does Baylor mean to you?
Baylor means so much to me. It combines religious instruction, religious environment, along with rigid academic instruction and training, and the history of Baylor. Being chartered is one of the first. I'm in the Sons of the Republic of Texas, and that means a lot to me, the history. Baylor's history is remarkable in this state. Chartered in, I'm trying to remember, 1849, or I believe it was, somewhere in there, maybe off by a few years. But Baylor produces great people, great statesmen within our state and nation, great lawyers. Baylor has the reputation of producing a lot of wonderful people, not just lawyers, but now with the science, the program that they have, it just means a lot. It's a great place to be, and to say I'm a Baylor graduate. Also, there is, I don't want to say it's not a cult-like thing, and maybe not quite as deep as A&M, but Baylor alumni stick together and are proud of one another to a degree that's, I think, extraordinary.
Do you think people have lost sight of that in the last year or two with the troubles?
Yes, people have lost sight of it, and it has to be repaired. We've got a bleeding wound and that needs to be staunched by love and affection, Christian principles, and communication, and with getting away with a desire for revenge and recrimination against either real or imagined people in the past who've done something that one disagrees with. We've got to get past that, and it's like, kicking someone who's down. The person that's being hurt now if we continued to have some of these assaults and what have you, it's Baylor that's being hurt, and we've got to fix that, and I honestly believe it will be fixed.